If you're thinking, my child was developing typically, and then around age 2, everything changed, you're not the only parent who's been shocked by this. What you're noticing is real, and you didn't cause it. Quick note, I'm not a clinician. I'm someone who reads and follows autism research and listens to a lot of parent stories, especially in autism communities. My goal is to translate what researchers are finding into plain language. This is education, not medical advice. Here's the big idea that helps many parents breathe again. Autism usually doesn't start at age 2. It often becomes visible around age 2. Some toddlers really do lose skills that were there before: words, gestures, social engagement. Researchers call this regression, and depending on how it's defined and measured, studies commonly estimate it in roughly 20 to 30% of autistic children. For other kids, what parents experience as regression is more like a plateau. Their skills stop moving forward just as other kids are surging ahead. The gap widens fast, and it feels like they've fallen behind overnight. Either way, that switch-flipped feeling is a very real experience. Why does it show up between 18 and 24 months? Because the toddler brain hits a developmental demand spike. Suddenly, your child is expected to do a lot more at once. More language, more back and forth social play, more pointing and sharing attention with you. More pretend play, more flexibility with change and transitions, more noise, more rules, more people. In the first year, the social demands are lower and routines are simpler. A child can appear mostly on track because the bar is lower. But when researchers follow babies over time, they often find that subtle differences in things like social attention and eye-looking patterns can be measured. These are usually not differences a parent would clearly spot day to day. They're subtle trajectory shifts measured in research settings. So when the world gets louder and more complex at 18 to 24 months, it's not that autism magically switched on. It's that the gap finally becomes visible. Under the surface, brain changes start earlier than we can see. Brain imaging and brainwave studies suggest differences can be present in the first year. In one influential longitudinal infant MRI study, researchers found faster than average expansion of cortical surface area between 6 and 12 months, followed by differences in overall brain volume growth patterns in the second year, right as clearer autistic behaviors were emerging. Important nuance. This was a specific research cohort, and not every autistic child shows this pattern. Autism is highly varied. But this supports something that matters deeply. What you saw at age 2 can have roots in brain development that were present long before you had any reason to worry. And for the question, was it something I did? Current research is very clear. Autism is strongly influenced by biology, including genetics. Large family and twin studies consistently find substantial heritability of autism risk, with estimates falling in a broad range across studies. Parenting style does not cause autism. Full stop. It didn't come from nowhere, it just wasn't obvious yet. Every toddler brain is a prediction machine. It constantly learns patterns. When I babble, someone answers. When I point, you look. Some neuroscience models suggest that autistic brains may give more weight to incoming sensory details and rely a bit less on prior expectations. This is one helpful framework. It could mean the world feels less predictable and more intense because the brain is calibrated differently. Around 18 to 24 months, life demands a big integration leap. Language, joint attention, and emotional regulation all have to work together. If a brain is already doing extra work to process sensory input, that leap can be overwhelming. It's brain plus development plus increased demands. So skills may wobble, stall, or sometimes slip. It's not a character flaw, it's not bad parenting, it's just how the brain is responding. Another point, scientists don't all define regression the same way. Some count a loss of words, others include gradual social withdrawal. When you change the definition, the percentage changes. That's why published estimates vary widely across studies. Many children show a mix. One more nuance. Research suggests girls are often identified later. Reasons include social expectations and bias in screening. For some, the ability to compensate socially becomes more relevant as they get older. If you're only putting the pieces together now, that's common. Also, if you notice a loss of skills, clinicians will check things like hearing and sleep. They don't cause autism, but they can make things harder. Ruling those in or out helps you get a clearer picture and better support. Trust your instincts and seek an evaluation. Earlier support matters. You can start reducing stress now. Build predictable routines and use visual schedules. Use gentle transitions instead of sudden changes. Create sensory-friendly spaces. Lower noise, softer light. Speak with simple, concrete, unhurried language. Connect through what they love. Following a child's lead and reducing overload is an evidence-aligned direction for early support, focusing on connection, not just compliance. Your child's nervous system is not broken, it's different, and understanding that difference is one of the most powerful things you can do. If you're the parent who feels like this happened overnight, remember, it wasn't overnight. It was invisible until the world got harder. You're not failing, you're learning your child's brain, and that learning, that's the most important work you will ever do. If this helped, please like the video and share it with a parent who needs this tonight. Thank you so much for watching. See you all in my next video.